Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jacqueline Luna. I'm our programs manager here at the library, and I am so excited for this extraordinarily special program today. We have 4 of Coronado's wonderful centenarians with us. I'm going to go through and I'm just going to read their bios, and then I'm going to turn this over to Cynthia, who's going to lead us in conversation with them. And afterwards, we have just some refreshments as well to enjoy. If I can ask everyone to please make sure your cell phones are not silent. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go down the line here, and I'm going to start with wonderful Miss Peggy Price. She is 103 years old. She was ahead of her time, went to Stanford in 45 and the Columbia Teachers College in 47. She's a 1968 Royal Canadian Air Force Fitness Program. A 1968 Royal Canadian Air Force Fitness Program sparked a lifelong passion for staying active. She married Lieutenant Arthur Price, raised 6 children, and taught generations of Coronado students. Yes. Since 1964, she led Girl Scouts and served the Coronado Library and Red Cross, an inspiration in every decade of her century-plus life. Give a round of applause for that. Walt Travis, here in seat number 2. He is 102 years old and is Coronado's oldest Marine Corps veteran. He was born in San Francisco during the Depression and joined the Marines in 1942, serving with VMF 115 across Guadalcanal, New Guinea, Leyte, and Zamboanga. He married his sweetheart Lorraine for 50 years, sailed the Mexican coast, and still visits schools to talk with children about honoring our country. Thank you for joining us today, Walt. Bill Hiscock is 101, and he served with the 20th Armored Division in World War II, crossing the Rhine and helping liberate Dachau. He earning the Combat Infantryman Badge and Bronze Star. He practiced estate and trust law in Coronado for 50 years, served on the hospital board and Navy League, and became a lawn bowling champion. And it was inducted into the USLBA Hall of Fame in 2012. That's amazing. We have Wilma Jean Johnson Mack. She's 101. She was raised with strong Quaker values in Martinsville, Indiana. She married J.D. Mack in 1943 for 71 years, settling in Coronado in 1967. She's a former runway and fashion model, including an Oscar de la Renta lingerie show, and she was always poised enough to feel at home, from a restaurant to the White House. We're so thrilled to have you here today. Leading us in conversation today is Cynthia Mendolia, who is a board-certified health and wellness coach. She worked with us here on this presentation in 2023, and we are just thrilled to be repeating it today with our wonderful centenarians. I'm going to turn this over to her now.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Good morning, everybody. So nice for you to attend with us today to learn more about our Coronado centenarians, a very special place for all of our guests today. Happy to see everyone, and thank you all for coming today. I appreciate you. So to understand just a moment about what a health coach does, maybe you don't know, but for me, with passion of understanding wellness and longevity and aging for people is really important to me. I work with a lot of older population, and I get to understand and learn from everyone. And things change all the time. And coaching helps people thrive with guidance, support, and accountability, overcoming obstacles in different situations that they may need assistance. That's what a health coach does. Thank you. So let's get started. Here's how it's going to work. It's a panel discussion, which is great. And I'll ask a question, and then they will offer, if you'd like to answer the question, then you just raise your hand and I'll bring a microphone over and we'll work together to get the information out to you. Before we start, I wanted to give you a couple little tidbits. Fun facts. Imagine the world our guests were born into. 1923, the average home cost around $8,400, and a loaf of bread was just 9 cents. The same year, insulin became available, turning a once fatal diagnosis into a manageable condition. In 1924, the first Winter Olympics were held in France, and Kleenex tissues hit the store shelves for the very first time. And in 1925, F. Scott Fitzgerald published The Great Gatsby book. While families gathered each and every evening around the new invention called the radio. So a lot of things have changed. Something wonderful is happening in the world all around us. People age 100 and older are now the fastest growing age group in the world's wealthiest nations. That includes right here at home. The National Institute for Aging is the world's premier research entity studying diseases of aging as well as habits and lifestyles that lead to healthy longevity. According to the NIA, 2.3 million Americans are now 90 and older. That's 101,000 have reached the age of 100. More to come. That's not just a statistic. It's a sign of how the whole society is changing, how we care for ourselves, how we care for others, how we stay active, and how we view aging and longevity itself is changing, and you may feel it. Today, we don't just talk about the numbers, we celebrate people behind them. We have 4 awe-aspiring individuals here, right here with us to represent new beginnings for the future of aging and longevity. Please welcome our guests one more time.
We're glad to be here. You're looking forward to this. You got to get here. So go home and get on the diet.
Just pulling up my questions here, please. All right, so here we go.
That's very good.
Here's one question for you to start. What's one piece of advice you would give someone starting out in life today?
Give a person what?
What's one piece of advice you would give someone starting out in life today?
Well, the same thing I give to most of the children. Start out by going to school, doing what you're supposed to be doing. Take care of what your parents have to do, and to have them direct you whatever you're supposed to be doing. But always mind your parents. Go to school, do the best you can there, and then later on, when you get old enough to go to college, go there to learn. Don't go there to have fun. Okay.
Well, I often feel that unasked for advice is seldom accepted. That's really kind of hard. It depends on what your aims are and things, and whether you if you have something you really want to do, then set the aims for it and aim for that. But don't get discouraged and don't give up if it's something you really, really are focused upon, which is very hard to do. Keep an optimist, be optimistic, keep a good attitude about things, and take criticism well. That help to the people who are trying to help you find your way.
I love it. Thank you very much.
I endorse what they just said, but I'd add one thing. Do your best to avoid people and things that can hurt you.
Nice. All right. Lost my space. Apologize. So let's see here. Who had the biggest influence on who you became? Is there anybody special in your life that you honored, mentored you? that you want to give credit to on who you've become?
Oh, well, I had a teacher in about 7th or 8th grade that turned me on to Shakespeare, which made me a lifelong fan of literature and reading. And I still remember her name, Miss Suter. And I actually had more like a reverse influence, as my parents were somewhat controlling. So my whole influence on the fact was becoming independent as soon as I could.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you. What's the most important thing you've learned about love and relationships?
Well, as you get older, you learn to love the younger people. As you're growing old, you want to be with them. But actually, when you get older, like I am now, I spend a lot of time helping younger children understand who they are. I go to schools and speak. Listen to this. The younger children of today are the leaders of this country tomorrow.
Very good. Very good, thank you.
And we have to keep putting it in front of all of our places where we go to talk about the younger children. I talk about it in all the schools all over. The children really love it, and they like to understand it. So it's not something you're just putting out there. When I do it, I did with 71 night, and I make them all come up and stand in front of me at attention. And say, now, salute. So then we all salute. Okay. So now, as you were, all right. Now we talk about what we want to talk about. But when they get through, they all come to me and they say, salute.
Very cute.
The point about that is they don't forget. They knew that and they should salute after. And so they learn all these things by one session. So 2 or 3 sessions of children learning who they are, that they're going to be the leaders of this country. So they have no idea that could happen. And it does happen. Look at us. Huh?
Totally.
I don't want to say we were the leaders. We can't be proud of that.
Okay.
But,
Thank you, Walt. Let's go on to the next question. Or Bill, did you have something to add to that?
I would only add that personally, I'm most fortunate. I've had love and relationships through my entire life. And I think they're indispensable to having both a good life and lasting a long time.
Wow,
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Peggy, were you going to say something again? Or no? Okay.
Well, on the loving, my family and my husband, who is no longer living, but we had a very deep and fine love. And we actually, I feel like you have to almost, when you love somebody and live with them a long time, you love them actually more than you love yourself. You would do anything for them. And my children and my family have shown me a deep and abiding love by the care and consideration they have given to me in my last years, or whatever you want to call them, my remaining years.
My livelier years. Yeah.
But my love is unboundless for my love for them.
Beautiful. Let's see here. What's your secret to staying positive through hard times?
well, that's a good question. There's no secret. Hard work is probably the main thing. When I was born during the Depression, and my father was a baker. He learned to bake when he was about 12 or 14 in Texas. He was working in a bakery, clean it up, and learn how to bake bread and do a few things. So then we left Texas, we came to Arizona. We got a job as a baker, making bread. So we had a better job, a little more money. So we went through that. And we left there, we went to Santa and we did the same thing, got a little better job. And you learn a little more. And then we moved on to San Francisco, where we learned from others who knew much more about the baking industry than we did. So my father learned how to make cakes and pies, but the one thing he did learn was how to make the English muffin. The English muffin was not English, it was made in Germany. And the guy that invented it was a German baker. And he worked at the cafeteria where my father worked. And my father did the cakes and stuff, and he did the English muffin. So they got to talking one day at lunch. He said, I'll trade the cake recipes for your English muffins worth millions of dollars. So my father got the recipe, the English muffin. So we opened the bakery 15th and Irving Street in San Francisco, and we sold English muffins. But like you say, bread was 9 cents a loaf, called a butter loaf. We make a nice bread, it'd be a pound and a quarter. And then before it went in the oven, we paint it with the butter down the middle. We cut it first, paint it down. Then the butter would sink through when it was cooking. So then when we sold it, you had to put it in the slicer. And then automatic, you do that. Go through the slicer, come out, you can see the butter all the way through, and we call it the buttercup bread. Yeah.
Nice, thank you. So is working hard and staying focused is your main key point on there. That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to tell you, that the lady, the greatest chef in the world, I can't remember what's her name. Anyhow, she said you can't cook without butter. You have to have butter, right?
We still know that, I think.
We bought 100 pounds of butter in a keg, boxed in, and they come in, they put it right on the floor of the bakery, and we leave it stay there and get soft. And as we made the Danish pastry, which most places don't do, we roll out the dough, get a big hunk of butter from all the way up and down. We fold it over. I'm showing you how to make English muffins. I mean,
Pastries.
Yeah, cinnamon rolls. And roll all the butter in, okay? So now you get another slab of butter, the same thing, up and down, and you fold it together, and then you roll it in, roll it good, really good, then you put it in the icebox overnight. And the next day you take it out, you roll it out, roll it into rolls, cut them off, mix it with rolls.
Thank you.
But when it comes out of the oven, you put the icing on and then the butter after. And there's only places in San Diego that we can buy those. And the guy that makes them at the fairground during the fair, he does it right in front of you, and you see him put the butter in.
You're making me hungry. Thank you.
Gotta go to the fair.
All right, Bill, did you want to answer that? What is your proudest?
Well,
What is staying positive through hard times? Well, would you like to say something? Thank you. What's your proudest? Let's move to this one. What work or role was your proudest in your life? Because you've done a couple things, so.
I feel like I'm rather proud that I acted decent and tried to conduct myself, so she wouldn't be ashamed of me.
Nice. I love that. Thank you.
I want to take the microphone because I think Walt put his hand on something that helped everybody in the Great Depression. That was our parents. And my mother did all of the typical hardworking mother and wife duties. And my father tried his very hardest to keep food in our mouths. We were very fortunate. I don't think we ever got a handout of food. There were times that we wished we had. I do recall my mother and father going to church and working in the church when they were having some kind of a banquet. As a reward, we got some of the food that was left over from the banquet. But I want to tell you about my father a little bit as well. He was a carpenter. I'm the son of immigrants. Both my mother and father came from Newfoundland to this country. And everything looked pretty good. There was plenty of work. If you were a boy in Newfoundland, you lived on a little island with a small group of people. Everyone knew everyone. The best way to put it is the boys built everything. If the only two things I know of that they didn't build, I'm talking about the house, the wharves, the ships, the furniture, you name it. The only two things they didn't buy, and they couldn't afford those, were an organ or a piano. Once in a while, someone did. It had to be brought in. So when he came to the United States, it was natural for him to get a job as a carpenter. He made himself a toolbox because he started in New York and no one drove cars and he had to take the subway. And he had to have a small enough, light enough toolbox to carry all his tools and get to the work. Then, of course, he went to Detroit. He knew my mother back in Newfoundland. He went to Detroit, and after a year of engagement, they married, and I came along a year later. It wasn't many years after that. There were 5 or 6 years after that, and the Depression started squeezing everyone. So there was no carpenter work. What my father did, he would drive to the lumber yard and find out. He'd wait until a truck with the lumber left, and then he would follow it to the job. When he got to the job, he'd say, "Can you use a good carpenter?" And the man who was running the job would say, "Gee, I really could, but I'm sorry, my family needs the money so much. My brother-in-law or my brother or my son is working with me." So he found he couldn't get a job. Now, what I'm going to talk about is patience and perseverance. So he looked around, and he had a little money he had saved as a young man, and he still had a small amount left. And they built some new thing, a movie theater, about 3 blocks from our house. And I had never, of course, I hadn't seen a movie. I was pretty young at that age. So when he saw the movie house, he thought people going in there are going to want some kind of a snack. So he arranged and rented a store next to the movie house and opened what we called a candy store. In those days, they sold popcorn and caramel corn, and they sold candy bars. And I'm sure you're all surprised that all those nice candy bars that long cost a penny. I don't remember a candy bar costing more than a penny in that early stage. And there were all kinds of candies. I really liked it, but I didn't get them very often. Now, the thing about my father is he was a very hardworking man. He was self-educated, self-taught. And so it was a great idea to have a candy store, but he just didn't have that kind of a personality. He wasn't unfriendly. He was just quiet. He was usually thinking, not talking like I am right now. So the candy store, frankly, failed. So then he had to sell it, and he sold it for about half of whatever he put into it. And now he still has the problem of supporting his family. To give you an idea, we lost our home in the Depression, and we moved into almost a brand new brick house that had a garage, 2 bedrooms, and the rent was $15 a month. We only lived there about 6 or 8 months because either the owners wanted it back or they raised the rent and couldn't afford more. So my dad had to have a second occupation. Well, when he was running the candy store, all the candy salesmen came by and sold him candy to go in the store. So he thought, well, I know a lot about that now. Maybe I can make a living doing that. So he took his Model A car and he put shelves in the back. And he bought candy from the dealers and went around to the stores such as he had had before. But as I explained to you, you had to know him to love him. And he was a very quiet man. And I would see him come home. And the man next door was a janitor in a school. And we all thought he was rich. He was rich. Every month he had a paycheck. It wasn't how much you made, it was that you had a job and you had some income. Mr. Jones is a favorite story of mine because he lived next door.
Can we come back with that? I want to move through.
Sure, I'm done.
We're never done. Can I move to something near and dear to my heart? What are the health habits or attitudes you'd like to share that have helped you along the way live this long life? Is there something special you do, Wilma?
Now or when?
Now, later, what have you done, do you think, that has kept you living so long? Is it something you've eaten? Is it something you've exercised with?
Eat anything sweet. Chocolate. I just, I can't, I don't know.
How about your modeling? Did your modeling help you stay young? And
Oh, yeah. I had all the paraphernalia in the suitcase, and I had a car, and I would go to all the call for me. I didn't, I went to an agency, and they kept part of the rules, and that's how I got the jobs. I didn't go stand on some street corner or anything.
that's so funny. How about can you share something about Oscar de la Renta where you modeled?
I didn't model for him, but I modeled for an agency.
Okay.
And
With his clothes?
pardon?
Wearing his clothes? Probably.
Well, I don't remember whose clothes I wore. I went to I had a boss in an office, and I would just go, and she would call me at home, and I just since I had a car and I could go where I need to go, it was no problem. And I had fun.
Very nice. Fun is important. Good. Thank you. Oh, did you have something?
Well, we were talking about,
Health habits?
what was your question?
Yeah. What are any health habits or attitudes that you'd like
Yes.
to share to help you along the
In
way?
1968, a man named Stan Antrim started an exercise class. This town was very, very small. There were no exercise classes. He started at a swimming pool, $5 for 12 weeks, Royal Canadian Air Force exercises, running and swimming. He had about 50 women show up. And that was the beginning of a whole new life for most of us. I started running, and when I was 49, I think I ran my first 10K.
Wow.
And then I was pretty obsessive, and I ran in every Coronado half marathon. And actually that really made me feel very good. I loved running. It was a tremendous total freedom, and I could think about other things. Actually, I could write menus in my head, things like that. That was the beginning of my kind of workout time. And so I used to swim and run, and then I joined different athletic groups. Yeah. But yeah, I joined the center. Well, I actually joined the center up in the hospital when it was brand new, when everything was free. And there was Pilates and a whole lot of other things. And then it became, more sophisticated and watched. So I worked out there. And I worked out there till, maybe a few years ago. But
I guess it's
maybe, you stop at the point all of a sudden you just don't want to get up and have to show up at 10 o'clock in the morning for a certain exercise. So I do it at home. And another thing I joined, my son is an optimist, and they have what they call an Optimist Challenge, which some of you may be familiar with. But you do exercise and keep a record of it, and then you have a little ceremony on July 4th through Labor Day. And I do that, but I also included things like making my bed, getting out of bed. I don't use that, but I really feel like sometimes it takes me 10 minutes to get out of bed, Okay, but I think that had a big influence on my feeling about life. And I tend to be somewhat optimistic anyway, and that sort of helped.
wonderful. Thank you.
Here's a question. What's the funniest or strangest thing you've seen in your lifetime?
No strange things, Peggy said. No. Yes, well.
One of the strangest.
I'll hold it.
Okay. One of the strangest things that actually happened to me was graduating from high school, and my girlfriend, she also graduated from high school, and then our friends were graduating. So we all got together. The war had just started. They said, we'll join the services. You girls wait for us. So they all promised to wait for us till we come back, And so we all joined. I'm the only one in the Marine Corps. But regardless of that, my wife waited 4 years for me to come back. And we got married. We had 5 children. And she died 15 years ago from smoking. So let's talk about exercise. Smoking is one of the worst things there are. The smoker. She went to every doctor, everybody we could go to in town. Nobody could stop her. And she just died. That was it. Well, anyhow, wait a minute. One other thing happened. I went in the service in the Marine Corps, right here, joined here, and they put me in with a group that went to Guadalcanal. So I stayed on Guadalcanal for several months, got a lesson a few over there, how to live and how not to live. So I went through that, got out of there, went to 2 other islands. I finally wound up in the Marine Corps. I went to the island Zamboanga, Mindanao, and I forget what islands are on. Anyhow, I went to there, and we fought on there for 3 months, helping the people there to get out of that. Finally, they sent me home. I had malaria. My toes were falling off. I was really sick. They put me on a hospital ship. Let's get out of here right now. So I got on the ship and left.
Woo!
Yeah.
Great history. What's a memory from your childhood that still feels very vivid to you from your childhood?
I grew up in Detroit, and the weather can be cold. Not as bad as Minnesota and Montana in temperature, but because of the humidity. So I was about 7 years old, and we'd had a snowstorm, and I had a younger sister who was the closest person to me my entire life. She was 18 months younger. So when I was 6 or 7, I'll let you all conclude how old she was. So it was so cold, my dad wasn't going to work. And he took my sister and put her on his shoulders. And we started walking, and then he picked her up because of the snow, and it was swirling around and getting colder. And he said, "It's too cold for your sister. I'm going to take her home. You go ahead to school." And I still had 2 blocks to go, and I thought, it's cold for me too.
Background of Quakers. As probably nobody has since.
Yeah, I know. Was there something in your childhood that's still vivid for you that you remember?
Oh, all right. I have all day to tell that.
Can you think of one thing?
What?
Can you think of one vivid moment from your childhood that still lingers in you?
There are so many. You haven't got the day to listen to.
Okay. Did anybody else want to share something vivid from their childhood?
Well, I have a vivid memory of when I was about 5 years old. My parents lived in Long Island, and my grandparents were in Dallas, Texas. So the only way my family could travel was by train or boat. And she took the 3 of us, and we were in a compartment in a train, and we had to change our train. And St. Louis took us about 3 or 4 days to get to Dallas. I have a dim memory of us all in this little room on the train, with my poor mother on that. And it's very vivid in my mind,
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to thank the town of Coronado for putting this situation on, so we can all talk and understand what different people. But living here for 4 years, I never want to move. I never want to go anywhere else but Coronado. This is absolutely the finest place, the finest people that I ever met in my life. And you can be down the street and you want to walk across, those cars will stop and you can walk. I think it's the only town in the country that give you the right of way unless you walk around. But I want to thank everybody in Coronado for putting on the concerts in the park, which we've always enjoyed, and all the other things that we get to enjoy. But it's a great place to live. I want to thank everybody for here.
Thank you. Thank you. Here's a good question. What do you want your children or grandchildren or even great-grandchildren to remember about you?
I want them to remember that I was fun to be with, and that I told them stories, and that they really were happy when they came to see me, and that they just remembered me for my sense of humor and for the fact that grandmother was a lot of fun.
I would like my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren to think that I was a person all my life who tried to help others, and as to them, that I was always fair.
Lovely.
I just know that I told my children something where they knew that I'd stand behind it.
Lovely. Lovely.
I'd like to bring up again one more thing. The children of today are our leaders for tomorrow. So keep that in mind when you go home and you talk to the children about the future, reading the books and stuff like that. The children of today are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.
What's something from the old days that you wish would come back? 9-cent bread? I don't know, maybe. That'd be nice. What would you like, Peggy?
Well, this is sort of a minor thing, but I sometimes wish some of the funny shows that used to be on television would come back. You know, instead of all the cop and robber and documentary. Well, I like documentaries. I have no exception to that. Some of the amusing and funny and entertaining shows and the musicals that we used to enjoy, rather than evening writing and that would be fun to have them come back.
Nice.
Yeah.
One more thing. There's going to be a documentary on the television very soon. They just completed it and they notified me they were going to show that. It's all about World War II, how it started, all the way through it. It's a pretty long documentary, but all very authentic. I'm in it in a couple of places, but anyhow, it's going to be worth seeing if you don't really read history. You know exactly what happened. But when I was in the Philippines, things were a lot different, and I didn't want to come home. I enjoyed the Philippines very much. Yeah. Well, anyhow, if you get a chance, you can see that on television.
Very nice. Thank you.
Excuse me for just a minute. I am his daughter, so I talk all the time as well. But that is called America at 250 from the perspective of our heroes. And it's on YouTube. It is 90 minutes, as Dad said, but there are several local people in it. 2 women who were co-starred and Rosie Riveters, my dad and each of them. And in it more, it starts with Revolutionary War.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that information. I didn't know it, and now we all are in the know. Appreciate that. Hey, everybody, what are you still looking forward to? You've made it to 101, 102, 103. What are you still looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting up tomorrow. And I have a few things. Planned. I have a niece visiting me from Sacramento. She's coming in, and I got some other little activities that are happening, but mainly just getting up each day and reading it.
Wonderful. What are you looking forward to for the future?
Some of you in the audience know that my sport is lawn bowling, and I bowl 3 times a week. I don't like exercise. I belong to an exercise class, and I like the ladies in the exercise class, and I even like the men in the exercise class, but I didn't like the exercise. I think it's boring. At a Rotary meeting, we had a special speaker talking about good health and exercise. And I remember this from 15 years ago. I said, now, if you exercise for 10 years, will it extend your life? How long will it extend your life? And he said, about 10 years. I said, so it equalizes out. I don't think I'll mess with it. But I did. I had an exercise class, and then I also had the lawn bowling, and then these later years, the last 3 or 4 years, I have less stamina. So I restrict myself to this one game, whereas in competitive games, you might play a whole week or play 3 games in one day. It's a great sport. The green's right around the corner. We've got the best green in California, maybe in the whole country. And we have a wonderful club with 110 people. I say to you, where else could you come to this city and join a group and have 100 friends immediately?
Nice, yep. I'll keep going.
All right.
Yes.
Great answer. Okay, just maybe one more question and then a couple audience questions and then we'll be finished. So I am thinking that just one question about what do you really think gets you up every day? Is it the family? Is it the social ability? Is it food? Is it lawn bowling? What do you think it is? What do you think gets you up every day?
Yes.
What moves you to get up? What motivates you?
Sheer guts, really. I mean, I don't know what you get to be my age and you're in bed and actually I sleep quite a long time because I go to bed probably earlier than most of you. And the bed feels really, really great. So it really, really takes a long time to get out, along with the fact I've gotten up a couple of times during the night, you know. So, but, I don't know. I have people to talk to, too, you know, people in the house, you know, and there's always somebody around, there's always something going on. So, and I can still hear, and I can't see so good, can't hear so good, but I can see enough and hear so that it's worth getting up so far.
I think you should know one of the things that happens to you when you get old. The days get shorter and shorter and shorter. What Peggy was just telling you, I heard because I suffer from it too. It seems like I get up every morning, but I used to get up and dash out the door and go to the office, work 10, 12 hours, and then go out for some food afterwards or home for food. Now, I get up and it seems like it takes me an hour and a half. I've only got one set of teeth and I'm very fortunate to have those. But I don't want to brush them for an hour and a half. And every little thing, you know, it's finding things, doing things you should do. And the whole darn day is gone. So you go home and you have dinner and it's time to go to bed again. And you watch TV. You don't watch it, you fall asleep. So I wish I had a good recommendation for you. So make the most of your time. I was an avid reader. When I was a kid, I had a lot of handicaps very early. And reading was my way of overcoming everything. I actually read 3 to 4 books per week. The librarians in my public library in Detroit were my best friends. And that was wonderful. But now I find I'm not reading. A couple years ago, I read every book Grisham wrote because it was about lawyers and I liked the stories. I noticed today there's a brand new one I didn't even know he wrote, and I'm sure I'm about 5 or 6 volumes behind. And Ken Follett, I loved his books. And I walked in there before I came in here, and there was a whole shelf full of Ken Follett's that I haven't read. And I don't know when I'm going to get time to do it. That's what I'm bitching about. Otherwise, getting old is fine.
I'm not having any trouble getting old.
Yeah, I love that.
I do the best I can, and my family knows this, and my friends and neighbors know this, so everything always works out pretty good.
Very nice.
One thing I forgot was the fact that after I reached this age with the challenge of aging, I found out there's 4 different kinds of solitaire on computer. You know, my daughter helped me enlarge the cards, and every morning or evening, sometime during the day, I take the solitaire challenge, and some of them are quite hard, and that sort of keeps me, my mind going a bit, you know. And the crossword puzzle, I do with my son on that too. Those got to keep me, but not the hard one, not New York Times, but and I love large print books. I could still read them.
Well, nice, nice.
Say one thing. You haven't enjoyed pinochle yet, otherwise you would never get bored. Play pinochle, you never want to quit. You go on and on. We play all the time.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you. One or two questions so we can keep to our time slot. You can enjoy some refreshments in a couple minutes. Who would like to ask anybody a question? And up first.
Hi guys, thank you so much for being here today. I just want to say it was lovely hearing all of your stories. It was really lovely hearing all your stories. I just want to know, is there anything in your life that you would do differently, or do you guys all feel content with looking back?
Oh, of course.
Very easy to look backwards.
It is easy to look backwards, huh?
Oh, I would. Well, you certainly would. But my understanding is, in little things I've read, is if you went back, you wouldn't do anything different. So, but you often think, why didn't I do that? You know, why did I do that? That's yeah.
You would change things. You would change things, okay? Yeah, a little bit. You would change things a little bit?
Oh, quite a bit, probably.
Quite a bit. Anybody else change anything throughout their life, or are you very content? Something to think about. It's a deep question, huh?
Well, I can make the comment that I'm very satisfied with my life. I've had an extraordinary life, and I've had a lot of adventures along through life, and most of them have turned out well. And those that haven't, I regret, and I wish it'd been better. But I think I could do better if I had longer. If I were young, not at this age. The legal profession is going down the hill so fast, I don't even like to think about it. I try to turn off the TV sometimes when I see the bad stories. And the judiciary is under tremendous pressure. If we're not careful, we're going to lose the whole system. So those are sad things, and I'd like to see them changed. But I know I'm too old, and I've had a good life. And thank you for coming here today. It was a fun thing to do.
Change anything in your life?
Looking back.
Well, I might do a few things, but they're nothing, you might say, because I'm happy with what I've accomplished and done.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Wait, we have one here, then I'll get you.
Thank you so much for being here. This is just wonderful. Just makes my heart special. I'd like to ask you on a daily basis, what are some of the few things that bring a smile to you?
Repeating the question, what are some things that bring a smile to you?
Let me say something to you about
A
that.
smile.
Smile is something I bring up everywhere I go. Like if I'm in a restaurant or something and somebody comes by, or the waitress, and I'll say, well, you can smile, can't you? Oh yeah, I can. I bring that up everywhere I go. The smile is worth a lot when you're just looking at people. You're absolutely right. The smile is there.
What makes you smile when you look at something? See something?
Well, lately, my biggest smile has been my great granddaughter, who is 5 months old, 6 months old, and she is a total joy. And I smile a lot when I see her.
Thank you. Anybody else? What makes you smile? Anybody?
What you going to say?
Okay, I'm going to for him. Yep. Thank you. Yes, sir. Hold close.
Thank you. Thank you. I often wonder, at 88 myself, been lucky, no major operations or procedures. If all four of you, any or all of you have been able to avoid getting where you are, major ordeals, procedures, operations, or have any of all of you at one stage in your life had to go through some of these undignified, rather brutal, unpleasant medical things to be able to survive and get to where you are. So that's my question.
Thank you. Thank you. He's asking whether through the years for himself, he's been able to avoid operations, serious life-threatening things, and he wants to know whether any of you have experienced anything like that or bypassed anything like that for big operations, serious things. Are we all lucky up here and never? I'm hanging out with this, whoever's very lucky. And that's why we're up here. But sometimes you go through things, you go through operations, you get through things. This builds resilience. It gathers people around you for safety, for self-care.
The only thing I had done was I got a pacemaker put in about 6 months ago, 8 months ago. And other than that, I've never had appendicitis or any operation whatsoever.
Wow.
I go to the same doctor for 18 years that I always went to. She's still alive. She works at the Veterans Hospital. I still go to that Veterans Hospital. I've been going there 18 years. They kept me alive. People that are in the service, don't be afraid to go there. They have hired the best they can hire, the best equipment, the best there is, and they don't stop at anything.
Nice. Thank you. Anybody else want to share any?
I have one thing just to add to what you said on like living and where you live. Where you live is so important. We're living in California and in Coronado, people live longer. And I was living back east with snow and ice, danger of falling, automobile accident, all that. And I feel like people in California live longer because they have better, longer, warmer days, and just the climate alone, I think, helps you live longer. I know a lot of people live like in North Dakota and live a long, right the whole life, but they must be. But I think living here adds to your life.
Ooh, wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for attending, everyone, and let's celebrate again. Everybody up here with the marvelous lives. And they'll be here for a little